Alright, I am continuing to be amused. We are not restarting. It's day 7. Gundula, could you make it back to the... I forgot about this. See, if Gundula is here, I get 23 Wolf Riders. Instead of, if she's not here, 18. So, because we have the Legs of Legion, and I would like to use them, Gundula, stay at Dolere instead. And then we begin week 2. Tarnum, recruit more orcs. And don't bother with the Ogre Magi right now. Need to consolidate additional troops before taking on challenges of that magnitude. A pack of ogres. We need to consolidate additional troops before taking on a challenge of that magnitude. However, I should have plenty of troops here now. Mage Guild. Bloodlust. I did notice that Tarnum did not have Bloodlust in his repertoire before. I'm very happy to see that that's become available to us. How many of these troops can I afford to hire? All of them except the Wolf Riders. Right out the gate. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's pick up the speed buff from the stables. Pick up the money from the water wheel. Go and pick up some more rocks from the cliff nest, and that will have to be finished on my next turn. Rocks, please. Now, at this point, I could have Gundula go through this portal and do that battle herself, and provided that it's still just several... I think she could handle it. What spells have you got, Gundula? Got anything in 3rd level that might help? That might help. Only 55 points of damage, though. That's not enough to destroy even a single Thunderbird, I think. Lightning would be a lot more effective. I could almost take down 2. I'm used to getting more use out of my spells. No, to be on the cautious side, I'm going to want to bring all of the armies that I have available to me so far together. I just got those rocks, right? Yes. Before I do any fighting with them. And I'm going to want Tarnum to still be the one doing that fighting, because he is so much better at offense. Okay. I've got some ogres now. I've got some more goblins now. I can give you a rock for accompaniment instead of a wolf rider, because that's even faster. And now Tarnum. I think you are prepared to take on these creature stacks. Let's take on the griffins first. Good sign, we've got them on the run. Rocks are certainly much stronger than griffins, despite being similar in design. Griffins barely moved. Nice one, swordsman! Swordsmen are stronger, blow for blow, than griffins are, but they lack their mobility. Might as well finish off that stack, why not? That single wolf rider is not really going to accomplish anything in this fight. Lovely morale bonuses, that advanced leadership is really doing a lot of good for me. And I can come over and fight the pack of ogres already as well. This is going much better than I think it would go if I were to divide my army. Alright, let's wait and let the ogres advance. Bring my swordsman up. I am deliberately putting the swordsmen into danger first, because they don't really fit in my army, and I won't be all that sad about losing them if I do. Why won't I be sad about losing one of my units, you might ask? Because if I didn't have the swordsmen around, I would actually get more morale by having all of my troops from the same faction. So the swordsmen are kind of acting as a special support unit and a buffer for me. I don't want ballistics, I don't find the catapult all that useful. I will definitely take increased movement. Why can't I build anything here? Because I am so incredibly short on gold, that's why. And if I were to try to get... I can't even get I can't get resources. I can't get gold for my resources at any exchange, right? Because I haven't built a marketplace yet. So this city will have to go without an upgrade this turn. A message arrives, tied to the leg of a red bird. It's no coincidence. The red bird is a symbol of death among your people. One of the bards opens it. To the savage who thinks he's king, surrender your forces now or your death will be slow and painful. In our interrogation chambers, the strong have been known to live for weeks. The somber bard shakes his head and says, "It's simply signed Braccadoon." You know the stories about the wizard torturers, and you don't doubt they are true. But as you look out at the faces of the men gathered awaiting your response, you can't show how you truly feel. Instead, you smile and take the red bird in hand. Slowly, you raise the avian to your lips and kiss the top of its head. I welcome the chance to be so close to these wizards, you boast. Then they will find out that the weak don't live long in my hands. Certainly, avoiding showing any sign of fear has long been considered an important part of leadership. Let's get these other constructions underway. What next? I think next I'm going to bring Tarnum out here to unlock that gold mine for me, since I am definitely wanting for gold. As Hardax suggested, I am desperately in need of the finances for my army, and I've already gotten the water wheel and everything else over here, so this would be a good time before Gundula to go and train. Good stuff. Day 4. I honestly feel it helps me to focus a lot on what I'm trying to accomplish when these videos break things up week by week. The Thunderbirds, awed by the power of your forces, begin to scatter. Do you wish to pursue and engage them? Yes. There are also spells that I could use. 13 Wolf Raiders perish. That's painful. You know what? If those rocks weren't in the way, this would have been a fantastic time to sacrifice my one Wolf Rider for the good of the team. I guess the goblins will have to do. Or the swordsman, I really should have thought of that. Oh well. This must be the hidden valley the bards talked about. Yes, it must be. And I'll just take that gold right now instead of needing to wait for Gundula to get back. Let's take the long way around up here, so that Gundula can run into the city, build the blacksmith, continue to get on that so that we can increase our gold production. Actually, there's a place here, Kingdom Resources, where I can see how much gold I'm taking in per day. That's 2,000. That's 1,000 from the town center in Dolere and 1,000 for the gold mine. In order to upgrade to the city hall, I'm going to need 5,000. Which means that if I spend more than 460 now, I will be hurting my income stream in the long run. Which means this is not a good time to splurge on Wolf Riders, and I had better wait. Well, that's fine. Oh, I haven't flagged these mines yet. Let's definitely do that. Alright, there's a wizard character, Thane, running around over there. You might notice that Thane looks a little bit similar to Yogg from the introductory cutscene. That's because they are both genies, a blue-skinned race that are aligned, generally speaking, with the wizards, much as goblins are aligned, generally, with the barbarians. Now that should have increased my gold income to 3,000 per day, which it has. And then I'm in a much better position. Although I still have to pace myself, because otherwise, things don't go well. 12 Thunderbirds. These guys aren't scared of me. Alright, let's learn from our mistakes and actually use the swordsman as the cannon fodder I was expecting them to be. Much better. I can deal with that. Unfortunately, the wolf raiders are all dead now, but I can deal with that. I don't have to be happy about it, I can deal with it. Sitting on a nearby rock is the mummified corpse of an old warrior, dead for many decades now, but as you approach, you notice his armor is in perfect shape, even though it's certainly been exposed to years of harsh weather. And I found the scales of the greater basilisk, which increases my power skill by +3. That means stronger spellcasting, which might make it more useful to cast some of these spells. Indeed, I remember that magic arrow doing 40 points of damage earlier, and now it does 70. I don't remember what the lightning bolt was on Tarnum. Gundula has different magical power to begin with, so her sums and effects will not be the same. Let's grab some crystal, the Shrine of Magic Incantation. You come across a small shrine attended by a group of novice acolytes. In exchange for your protection, they agreed to teach you a simple spell, Cure, which apparently I hadn't known yet as Tarnum, so I'm glad to have learned that. And now I'm really getting to this point where I'm allowing Tarnum to do a bunch of resource collection instead of only doing the combat that he's best suited for. You know, I'll have Gundula go and stand there. And my turn. Yes, I know. And since I'm getting Tarnum to collect resources, I could have steered her further away. I'll get him to give her the troops. And the armor for the time being. However, I am not going to let Gundula die, so I'm not going to bother taking back those legs. And Gundula can do some fighting after all. I would have her fight Thane if she could get there, but it seems like the Nagas are in the way. So Thane is just going to get whatever's on that corpse. I wonder if he wants to defeat the Nagas and come at me. Probably not. They're probably too much for him. In all honesty, it would take them both 2 turns to get there. You know what, never mind. Never mind this whole exercise, I was being silly. You know what, swap this back. Sorry for taking up your time. Apologies. Sincere apologies. There we go. Now what do I want Gundula to do? Everything down here is kind of taken care of. No, I want Gundula to come down here and learn Cure, of course. That's a sensible thing for her to be doing. And what else do I want my city to do? Well, I still can't build the Cyclops cave. I could, however, build the mess hall, which would give me more goblins in the future. And I'm going to want to start upgrading my mage tower, so oh hey! Once again, you must thank your bards for their knowledge. Thank you, bards. Once, there was a barbarian woman from these parts who was to be married to an ogre. She carried her dowry with her to the hut of the ogre, but when the giant stepped outside, she picked up his wood axe and lopped off the ogre's head. It is said she hid her dowry in a nearby cave and lived the rest of her life alone in her intendant's home. Using directions from the old tale, the bards found a secret cache of resources buried in a cave in the mountains. Very useful. Also, there's a spelling mistake right there. Oh well, these things happen. And Thane is just fucking standing there. Well, Gundula, learn Cure. Settle on the cliff nest, because it's a bit... I forgot that I wanted to bring her back to Dolere, and this time it's too late to do that. Oh well. Tarnum, right out to meet the Ogre Magi in battle. Goblins, swordsmen, orcs. Good shot with those orcs. Ogres. And that one wolf rider, of course. I think they can do that. They certainly can. I could take a battle with no losses here, so let's do that. Now this hut of the Magi. You enter a rickety hut and talk to the magician who lives there. He tells you of places near and far which may aid you in your journeys. I believe that some of these write-ups, in particular the one for the scales of the Greater Basilisk, may have been rewritten specifically for Heroes Chronicles. Now you see that we're being centered on those big giant eyes, which we can see the surroundings of. And these are the 3 towers that I was told would be summoning troops against me. That's one of the reasons that, although we don't want to be so reckless that we lose our armies, it is definitely well to advance aggressively, because they have 3 towns that are potentially producing troops and resources for them, and I only have 1. Still, I am playing this game on normal difficulty, so I don't expect things to be that bad. There's a pack of rocks there. I will have Tarnum go and fight those on his next available turn. And make sure that I do something in here. Like, since I do expect ore and wood to be a potential concern, build a resource silo. And that will be it for this episode of Heroes Chronicles Warlords of the Wastelands, The Criminal King. Join us next time to see how we advance on the 3 wizard towers: Cloudspire, Valtara, and Machina.